So in this video we are going to compare the iPhone with the Fairphone. First of all, what is the Fairphone? The Fairphone company makes phones under good and fair working conditions and works with materials that are fair trade. But first, where are the iPhone and the Fairphone made and under what working conditions?
Fairphone is a Dutch company which phones are made in China under good working conditions.
Most iPhones are also made in China, but under very bad workers' conditions.
Employees of Fairphone do not overwork and they get a fair amount of leisure time in 3 days.
On the other hand, Apple's employees don't get enough leisure time and 3 days. They only get 2 days a month off and have to work 12 hours a day.
This is ridiculous if you compare it to the Fairphone employees who get at least 6 days off a month.
The BBC documentary Apple's Broken Promises shows that the Apple employees are very tired and exhausted because of the long working days. They filmed at the department where the iPhones are tested, but no one wasn't even awake.
This is typically something that would not happen at the Fairphone factory.
Some of the workers are so depressed that they commit suicide. That's why Apple hung up suicide nets to prevent these people from committing suicide.
Secondly, what are the production and purchase price of the iPhone and Fairphone?
The production price differs per phone. The newest phone, the iPhone 6 Plus, costs about €250 to produce, and the selling price is about €600. The most expensive part is the display, which costs around €50.
The production price of a Fairphone is about €330, and the purchase price is about €525. The most expensive part is the display as well, which costs €86.
But what makes the Fairphone fair?
There are a lot of reasons why the Fairphone is fair. Firstly, the workers get paid a fair loan. The minerals, which are needed for the phone, are bought for a fair price too. But maybe the most important reason why the Fairphone is fair is because you can replace every single part. For example, when your camera breaks down, you can just order a new one, so that you don't have to pay for a new phone.
What amount do the laborers, the shop owners and the production company get per sold phone?
Apple laborers get a few euros per hour. About 60% of the profit goes to the shop owners and 40% goes back to Apple.
Per sold phone, €11 go to the workers. The shop owner does not get any money, because the Fairphone is only sold on the Fairphone's website. After subtracting taxes, the company gets a profit of €9 per sold phone.
Now we are going to look at the phones from a personal, local, national and global view.
Personally, I do not own an iPhone. However, I do own an iPad, like everybody else of the class. And in my home, multiple Apple products can be found.
I do not own a Fairphone and I don't know anybody who owns a Fairphone either.
If you were to take a look in Zeewolde, you would see that most of the people own a phone. Usually a Samsung or an iPhone.
If I would look in Putten, I do not think there will be a lot of people who own a Fairphone.
In the Netherlands, 81% of the population owns a phone, mostly consisting of the main 5 brands: Samsung, Apple, HTC, LG and Nokia. 25% of the people that own a phone have an iPhone. This can be the iPhone 4 all the way up to the iPhone 6s.
Fairphone has sold 60,000 phones in total. It's unclear how many have been sold in the Netherlands. In total, there haven't been sold many yet because the Fairphone is quite unpopular and people don't know how good the phone is. But when we look at the reviews, we see that a lot of people are satisfied with the Fairphone. Fairphone has only sold phones in Europe so far, but they are trying to sell them in America too in the future.
The percentage of people that own a phone is still uncertain, because this cannot always be measured. What we do know, however, is that Apple has customers from all over the world, and we can therefore conclude that Apple has done a great job in globalizing their product.
What kind of people buy an iPhone and Fairphone and do they pay a fair price?
There's nothing that really characterizes the iPhone owner. However, there are more men who own an iPhone than women.
People who own a Fairphone are people who care about the environment. Also, people who own a Fairphone are mainly older people than people who own an iPhone.
I cannot say if the iPhone owners pay a fair price because that's their own opinion. In my own opinion, I think that the iPhones are too expensive.
The Fairphone owners pay a fair price because the phone works for a very long time. When something breaks down, you do not necessarily have to buy a new phone, but you can just replace that single part.
Now, we have come to the end of this video, where we compared the iPhone with the Fairphone. Obviously, not everything went perfect at once. We will now show you some bloopers we made during the filming. In this video, we are going to
Fairphone is a Dutch company which phones.
In the BBC documentary Apple Broken Promises,
Fairphone has sold 60,000 phones in total. This is ridiculous if you compare it to the Fairphone employees who get at least 6 days off a month.
People who own a Fairphone are people who care about the environment. Also, people who own our